Massive, this is LaserBolt, and welcome, guys, to the build for today within the Division 2. This build, guys, it's entitled the Perfect Unbreakable AR build. Gonna give you a ton of damage, guys. You're gonna be outputting almost 90% AR damage, and you're gonna be having almost 100% damage to elites. If this build does not get you past the raid, or it does not help you complete the raid, or get ready for the brand new raid, I don't know what will. You guys are definitely going to want to stick around and hear how this build is put together so you guys can come and wreak havoc with this build. But before I get started and show you guys the build, I do want to remind you guys about our giveaway. We're giving away 2 free copies of Call of Duty Modern Warfare for the system of your choice. To enter and participate, it is super easy, guys. All you have to do is click the link down below where it says Join Bolt Nation and join the Bolt Nation, and you guys will be automatically entered. Good luck to everyone that is participating. Now, before I get started and talk about all the things that are going to need to be required to actually make this build work, I want to say that this build is going to be focusing on the current raid right now. I'll explain how it focuses on that current raid. I'll also explain how it's going to get you ready for the brand new raid that's coming. And not only is this build good for the raids, but it's also really good for any high-end content because you're going to be doing a lot of damage, not only with your weapon, but you'll be doing a lot of damage to elites. And the good thing about this build is that you're going to be able to tank a lot of things within the raid because this build is focused on that as well. So with all that being said, let's jump into the build. Just like always, guys, with all our builds, we're going to get started, of course, with our attributes. And we're going to start off with the yellow. Now, for the utility, you're going to be targeting 0. You don't really need any utilities. This is not working on any sort of skill mod or any skill build that you don't need to have any utilities. 0 is fine, but if you want to add a 1 or a 2, I mean, I won't judge you, but you know, 0's the number you're targeting. Now, the ones that are going to be very important is the red and the blue. The defense, you want to have this at 11 defense. That's the main target you want to achieve. If for some reason, guys, the numbers I'm mentioning, you're able to go higher, well, kudos to you guys. But these are the numbers you want to target. So on defense, you want to be 11. And on offense, you want to be at 9. Now, if you could get this to 10, it would be amazing. But 9 would be your target point here. So we're looking at a 9-11-0 build. It's actually a really easy build to obtain. But having the right pieces to make this work is going to be key. And now that we got the attributes out of the way, let's talk about what weapons you're going to be needing. So for my primary weapon, I'm running the tactical MK16 replica. Now, you're able to go with any other AR if you guys want to, but I'm going to explain why the tactical MK16 replica is actually pretty good. Now, if you have another weapon that you feel might fit a little bit more according that's an AR, let me know in the comment section down below what that is and why. So, with this tactical MK16 replica, we're going to be able to hit about 30k per shot, which is really, really good. And we're going to be going with the following talents. We're going to have Ranger here. So, every 5 meters you are from the target grants you 2% weapon damage. So, that's going to be boosted our weapon damage here. Then we're going to go with Allegro, which is going to increase our rate of fire by 10%. And last but not least, we're going to go with Overlap. While holstered, gain 5% weapon handling. This one you don't have to hear. You could put whichever one you want. The main one you want to make sure you have Ranger on here. As far as the mods we're putting in this weapon, there's only 2 that I want to mention, and that's because we're going to be getting our damage from here. That's the XPS S3 Hollow Sight. That's going to give you plus 8 damage to elites. And the Muscle Break 5.56, which is going to give you an additional 5 damage to elites. So right off the bat, guys, we got 13 damage to elites just from our primary weapon alone. Now, as far as our secondary weapon, guys, we are running a LMG. Now, any of the LMGs, if you guys have been watching my must-get videos, if you guys picked up the LMGs from last week, put anyone from the ones we talked about last week. The main priority, you want to have an LMG, and you want to make sure that they have these 2 different sets of attributes. Number 1 is first Unhinged. Receives 20% weapon damage at the cost of 25 weapon handling. And number 2 is Allegro. Those are the 2 main kind of talents that you want to make sure you have within your weapon. I recall correctly from the ones we picked up last week, you should be good to go with this one. As far as mods for this, it doesn't really matter which ones you put here because our primary weapon is the one that's going to do the work. Now, for our sidearm, guys, we're going to be going with the double barrel shotgun. And the main thing we're looking here is, of course, it's only 1 talent in particular, which is in rhythm. While equipped, enemies kills have a 5% chance to refresh. Active skill cooldown can occur once every 6 seconds. We're going to be using this just to proc our action skills really fast. So this is a really good one to have, and that's the only main on here. Other than that, guys, you guys are set up in weapons. Like I said earlier, if you feel like there's a better AR out there that you feel fits a little bit better here, let me know in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to is in case we're you guys are trying to maximize build. All right, so now let's get started with the mask. So for the mask, guys, we're going with the Rector, and the reason why we're going with this one is because this one's going to give us one red, which is going to be the damage to elites, and one blue, which is going to be hazard protection. Now hazard protection is very important because if you guys have been playing the raids, you guys know that this is going to be very helpful. I'll explain why it's important and why you should consider this kind of a big priority. Not only this raid, but the raid that's also coming your way. We're also going to be doing a talent which is going to be Insulted, and it's going to give us plus 30 hazard protection. And like I said before, you're going to understand this when the new raid comes out. Plus, the current raid right now, hazard protection is actually quite important as well. And the main objective here of this particular mask is your damage to elites. You want to make sure this is 50 plus. You could get a God roll 57 and roll it in here. If you have a low mask, you could always pick up the ones from my watch must get items. So if you haven't checked out that video, highly recommend you guys check it out. You guys can know what weapons to pick up and what items. And that's what you're targeting for the mask: damage to elites and hazard protection. Now let's go ahead and move on over to the backpack. So for the backpack, guys, we're running with a 511 tactical. And what this is going to do, we want to make sure we're targeting 2 reds, 1 blue, and of course putting a gear mud slot in our blue. So this is the way we're going to be setting it up. We're going to want to have weapon damage, so as high as we could possibly get it, to 11. We want to have critical hit chance. Hopefully we're able to get that to 5. We want our armor to be 12k or higher, so this build could be very potent. As far as our gear mod is concerned, we were going to be looking for a gear mod that gives us armor and that gives us explosive resistance. Those are the main targets we were looking for here. And for our talents, guys, we're going with Hardened, which is going to give us plus 15% armor. And our second talent is going to be Vital, which is going to give us plus 25 health. Now onto our chest piece. Now for our chest piece, guys, we're going with a Badger Tough. And the item on this one, I think it's called 0F. We're looking for, once again, 2 blues and 1 red, giving it an option of dropping a gear mod, a red gear mod, and a blue mod, defensive and offensive mod. So we're going to be targeting at least 10k armor, weapon damage. Once again, we want to max it out as much as we can get it to 15 heal. And we're going to be doing total health percentile. Total health percentile is not that important, but it still helps quite a little bit. For our mod slot, we're going to be dropping a red mod slot with weapon damage, assault rifle damage bonus. That's what we're targeting. And for our blue defensive mod, we're going to be going for our armor mod, a total armor mod, and explosive resistance mod as well. Now, what makes this build amazing is, of course, the perfect unbreakable. That is the reason why this build is so important. Now, remember we said earlier we were trying to target 11 defense? Well, that's the main reason why we're going with 11 defense. It's because we want to make sure we're able with the perfect unbreakable. 100% of your max armor is repaired when your armor is depleted. Armor kits used within the next 7 seconds are not consumed. This is what makes you super tanky with this build, and what makes you laugh at any content that comes your way, whether it be the new raid or the current raid that we have, or any high level end content. You're pretty much going to be an awesome tank running around with awesome damage, and you're just going to be killing and wiping enemies left and right. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the gloves. For the gloves, we're running the Fenris groups, and we're going to be going with 2 reds here, assault rifle damage bonus and marksman rifle bonus. Now the marksman rifle bonus we don't need right here. We could actually get something else, but the assault rifle damage is what we're looking for. We're also going to be going with the talent devastating, which is going to give us a plus 5% weapon damage. Then onto the holster. For the holster, we're going with Gilligard. It's going to give us 2 blues, and it's going to give us an option to add 2 reds in here, adding health and total health. That's going to be our attributes. And as far as our gear mods, we're looking for something to apply weapon damage and assault rifle damage bonus for the first red mod, and then for the second red mod, we're looking for weapon damage and once again assault rifle damage. Those are the ones you want to be up here. Now onto our knee pads. So for our knee pads, guys, we're going with a Gilligard as well, and this is going to be dropping with the course, as you guys know, a total of 3 blues, and we're looking for total armor here. We're going to be applying a gear mod slot with armor, explosive resistance, total armor for both blue ones. Now for our talent here, guys, we're going to be going with hard hitting, which is going to give us a plus 25 damage to elites. Just with the mask and the knee pads alone, that's going to be putting us at 75. And remember, we got the additional 13 from the gun. That's going to be our damage to elite number right there. But I'm going to talk about how you're able to switch this up based on the different sections of the raid you're playing in, and how you're going to be contribute. So you're gonna want to make sure you have at least like a between 2 to 3 Gilligard knee pads, so you can alternate between different scenarios when you're playing raid. And overall, that completes the build as far as gear and weapons. So with the 511 tactical, we're getting a plus 5% protection from elites, which is pretty good. With the Badger Tough, we're getting the plus 7 damage to elites, so that's going to be putting us at 20% damage to elites if we count our weapon. Plus the additional 50, that's 70. Plus the additional 25, we're looking at about 100 damage right there. Then we have the Fenris group AB, which is going to give us a plus 10 assault rifle damage. And then we have our Gilligards, which are running 2 sets of Gilligards. They're giving us a plus 5% total armor and plus 20% hazard protection. In addition to the hazard protection, we're backing up. And the Richter is giving a plus 10 hazard protection. So as you guys see right there, just from the Gilligards and the Richter, we're getting 30% hazard protection. Now we're going to be talking about the max stats that you're going to want to be targeting almost towards the end of the video. Now let's talk about how you want to play with this build. Like I said, our primary weapon, guys, we're going to be hitting about 27 to 30k just on one shot alone. So it's going to be hitting really, really hard. Plus with the perfect unbreakable, our AR build is going to be about 80% AR damage and 90 to 100 damage to elites, which makes this amazing. So there are 3 ways you're able to play this. Now, this is all going to be dependent on you moving the knee pads and changing different attributes. So what you're going to want to do when you're playing Weasel, you want to make sure, once again, you're running hard hitting. When you're playing Buddy and Lucy, you want to make sure you switch that from hard hitting to patience. And when you're playing Razorback, you just want to make sure you switch over to the one that has hard hitting. Now, as far as what type of specialist you should run with this build, of course, Sharpshooter would be primarily if you're going to be running Boomer, and then, when you're doing Razorback. If you guys are running anything that's not Razorback, like for example, let's say you're running Buddy and Lucy, you're probably going to want to go with the Demolition, or you're running Boomer or Weasel, you could go with the Demolitionist. But Sharpshooter is I kind of run Sharpshooter all the way across, not going to lie, but that is the ones you want to play with. If you have 2, you basically have 2 options. Sharpshooter is just more favorable for Boomer, and also very favorable for Laser, so it's also going to be very favorable for the brand new raid. So let's talk about the max number and the max stats you want to do. So for maximum DPS, guys, you're going to be targeting at least 1 million plus. Critical hit chance, it doesn't really matter as long as you have something there. You want to have a 5 or a 10. Critical hit damage, you're looking between 20. And you're also going to be looking for the main point of the build. Of course, it's headshot damage. You're going to be roughly around 50. All weapon bonus damage, you're going to be around 35. For assault rifle damage, with all the gear mods we put, we want to make sure we're here at least 40%. The higher you can get that, the better it's going to be. And of course, for damage to elites, we're looking to get nothing less than 90%. If you have something less than 90%, then you might need to tinker off with a little bit of things, or maybe farm a better mask to roll into the mask I suggested. Other than that, guys, this build is going to have you laughing at raids, have you laughing at and content. And I hope you guys definitely give this a try, test it out, and trust me when I say this, guys, you're going to be melting everybody like it was a hot knife going through butter. Now, we will have other sets of builds for you guys coming your way. We have a nice Berserker Clutch build coming. We have an SMG build. Let me know out of those 2, which ones would you like to see next? And don't forget, for everything The Division, keep it locked on this channel. Check us out on the stream, and I will catch you guys on the next.